if you put the sanctions on, then we will withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty. The NPT is an international agreement. It has 140 signatories, and it basically says that every country agrees not to get nuclear weapons. Now, if Iran withdraws from that, it is an insinuation that they might be building a nuclear bomb clandestinely. That would be an escalation. And this follows the tit for tat. If Europe puts the sanctions on because Iran is in non-compliance, then Iran says the sanctions are on, then we're going to make a nuclear bomb. What do we have to lose? And so they're playing a game of chicken here. The Europeans don't want Iran to have the bomb. Iran doesn't want to have the sanctions. And so the Europeans are using the sanctions to get them to engage with the inspectors. Iran is using the threat of the bomb to get Europe to back off of the sanctions. Now, it was put before the Iranian parliament last week a resolution on whether to withdraw from the Non-Proliferation Treaty, which would be an obscene escalation. That is basically as good of a public statement as you're going to get that Iran is building a primitive nuclear device. What else would that imply if they withdraw from the NPT? It was removed from the docket at the last minute. They never voted on it. A week later, today, it was declared that Iran's foreign ministry and the Europeans had reached an agreement. Iran will not withdraw from the NPT. Europe will not apply the snapback sanctions. And there's a framework for Iran to cooperate with the nuclear inspectors from the IAEA. It is in the midst of this week. This happened this week. Last week, Iran put it on the docket. We're withdrawing from the NPT. We are going nuclear. Today, in the past 48 hours, an agreement came together where the Europeans and the Iranians are going to work together to inspect Iran's nukes, and they will not have sanctions that push over the country. And even the foreign ministry said we might re-engage with the United States in some capacity. In other words, diplomacy might prevail. Well, what's wrong with that? Well, of course, if diplomacy prevails, then Israel does not get its objectives. If Iran is under a framework agreement and has inspections, is not being sanctioned, is in good standing with Europe and the United States, then Israel cannot go in and bomb their missiles, bomb their nukes, topple their government without extraordinary disapproval from Western allies. Israel does not want peace.